It's very, very, very important to run the prescribed paces in workouts. If you have a coach, and I do this. I can't speak for all coaches, right? Coach Jason here, top of the line running. Hope you're doing well. If it's your first time here, welcome. Um, when I prescribe pace ranges for my athletes, I do it based on their current fitness, right? And why do I do that? Well, it sets them up for success short term and long term. It also makes sure that they're training at the right pace ranges and not somebody else's pace ranges. It also helps keep them healthy. And I'm thinking about this because I've had quite a few people reach out to me, and I've got a TikTok account too. It's called Access to Coach. If you're on TikTok, make sure you follow me on there. And if you're not subscribed here, please subscribe to this channel as well. Hit the notification buttons too. That way, when I go live, I like to talk about all tips and I do Q&A for training, and if you have questions, you can bring them anytime you want. And I do the same thing on TikTok too. People asking me too, well, I haven't, and I'm going to use an example. We're doing a tempo run at 520 pace per mile, which is 80 seconds for 400. So, and I have somebody saying, well, I have a tendency to run too fast in the beginning and I fall apart. And this is something common, right? And what makes it easier to lock into paces, find the pace that you need to run, right? Number one, I encourage folks to test themselves at a mile after about 6 weeks of running, right? And a couple of weeks of basic speed development, just strides or something like that. It'll give you a good idea of where your current fitness is at. And then you can set your training paces for everything based on I've got a video on here. I've broken it down from 8 minutes for the mile all the way down to 4 minutes by 20-second increments on not only what your capabilities are for 3K and 5K, 400 800, but the training paces. I have another video on training paces for everything. Easy runs, steady runs, progression runs, workouts, VO2 max, threshold tempo. Everything is already done for you. I've done all the calculations and the dirty work already. You don't have to do it. So when I set that up because it's really, really important to make sure that you're training in the right pace ranges. And why do I bring it up also? Well, I do something called transitional reps. This is something I've been prescribing for athletes for a while. And if you're doing a tempo run, let's use that 520 pace as an example. I have my athletes do 2 or 3 times at 200 first, at 39 to 40. It helps them find the pace of the workout itself before starting the workout. That way they can maximize the workout itself, whether it's 20 minutes or 25 minutes, whatever it might be that day. And the reason why is because the workout itself, it should be even or progressively faster, not too fast and then falling apart. Okay. That's not the way you want to race, and that's not the way you want to train. So it's something to keep in mind too. It's food for thought. Okay. And I do a long transitional rep for short and fast workouts. Like if you're doing 6 times a 400 with a mile pace or slightly faster than mile pace with a 90-second recovery, it helps to put a little bit of lactic in your legs. That's why I do a 800 meter to 1,000 meter rep at threshold pace to elevate the heart rate after your warm up and your drills and the strides. And then on the flip side, on the back end, after the speed workout, I do another one to help flush out some of the lactic that you just put in your legs. Okay, so it transitions you into the shorter, faster stuff, transitions you out of it, just like the 200s transition you into the longer stuff for the workout itself, and then you do a cool down on the back end. But it's really, really important to train the right training pace ranges. And again, for a couple of reasons. Okay, there are basically 2 choices you can make. You can either speed up, okay, when a race tells you you're ready to speed up, or you can slow down because you're injured now. Which one do you choose? That's the key. And that's the question that I like to ask athletes and coaches. Okay. And it's an important question. It may not be, it's a little bit of a rough question, but it's an important question. I'd rather have this reality here from me than having to learn the hard way. Okay. And again, I let races and time trials dictate when someone is ready to start training faster in workouts. Okay, I can still add volume to a workout. I can manipulate rest a little bit and so on, which is an indication of improved fitness too. But in order to run faster in the workouts, the race needs to be able to support it and back it up, just like a time trial. And you'll notice when people start once they get fitter, they can effortlessly run faster in workouts. When they do that, chances are there's a race that's going to come. It's going to put them in a position to say, okay, it's time to change pace in the workouts. You're at another level now. And I let that happen first so that I know I'm keeping their health and their best interests at heart. But again, this is just me. I can't speak for all other coaches. This is how I do it. I want to make sure the athletes I work with are training in the right pace ranges and setting themselves up for success, right? Short term and long term. And again, something to keep in mind, if you run cross country and track both seasons, you're racing pretty much 9 months consecutively. All you have left is the summer to recover and rebuild. And this is why I'm so strategic in the summer too. When I do Jason, basically just building miles in June, adding a little bit of speed development in July, and then adding a tempo or threshold weekly on top of the speed development in August. That way you're gradually putting yourself in a position to transition into cross country training. Hard stuff, okay, without having done too much work. Okay. And again, I say this a lot too. You can race yourself into shape. You can also race yourself out of shape. Okay. So for those that race a lot, twice a week on a regular basis in a cross country season, you don't really give much time for recovery and workouts. So all these things need to be factored into it. Okay. And if you're going to try to sandwich a workout in between two races each week, it's probably going to be a slower workout, a tempo or a threshold session to help you recover in between these two workouts. But that's a conversation for a whole nother day. Okay. But the right pace training ranges is absolutely important for short-term success and for long-term success. Okay. And keep in mind too, if you do the right things in the summer, then you put yourself in a position to run well in cross country. Cross country, there are no time qualifiers, okay, for standards. There are place qualifiers to qualify for conference, states, nationals, and so on. Unlike track, where there are time qualifiers to make conference, state, and nationals, and so on. Okay, if you do this the right way, you can parlay great fitness in cross country into track and maybe get yourself an early season fast time or an early season qualifier. And since the indoor season's so long, you can then get that qualifier, then shut it down and rebuild and recover and train towards the end of a very long indoor season. It's another way to think about it too. Okay. You can do that. You don't need to race twice a week, every week for 20 weeks straight, 30 weeks straight. That is counterproductive, in my opinion. Okay. If you want to run fast, it's important to set yourself up, to set your athletes up to do exactly that. Okay. And this is why I say executing the right pace training ranges keeps you moving forward. Okay. I'd rather you be 2 steps ahead of the competition than 2 steps behind everybody else and everything else. Right. And if you're doing that more often than not, you're going to be ahead of the game and you're going to be healthy enough to make bigger leaps in your training and your race performance too. Okay. So training at the right pace ranges. And I know it's kind of long winded, but I can't emphasize this enough. Okay. If the workout of the day is at 75 seconds, just as an example, 75 seconds for 400s, there's no need to go 65s. Why? Because the recovery component, if you run 65s, is not going to be the same as if you run 75s. It's not. It's going to take a heck of a lot more out of you. And if you're not ready to run 65s and back it up with a race, then it's pointless doing it. All you're doing is potentially risking injury or illness or both. Okay. That's why we have pace ranges. That's why, tempo runs. We want you to execute this pace for this long and so on. Complemented with this and that and this and that moving forward. And you'll see a systematic progression of gradual training over time. And then once you back it up with a faster race, then you can start elevating the training. Okay. You can elevate the volume in weekly training, but not volume and intensity at the same time. It's one or the other. Okay. If you elevate the volume, you stay there for a while, then you work on intensity, you change the dynamic in the workout itself before you elevate the volume again. But you need a good 3 to 4 week block and sometimes longer to adapt to these things. So it's kind of all over the place talking about this, but it's all relative to each other. They all work together here. So I hope you found this enjoyable. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Okay. If you find these videos helpful, please hit the thumbs up. Okay. And again, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, please. And I'm on the road to 4,000 subscribers, or my 5,000 subscribers. I'd like to get to that now over time as well. Now we just hit 4,000. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Now we're going to try to get to 5 before the end of this year, before the end of the cross country season. So your help is greatly appreciated. But again, that's the moral of the story today. Okay. Please execute your prescribed paces and workouts, not faster. Okay. Not faster. Let your fitness tell you that you're ready to run faster. Okay. Not because my teammates are running faster in workouts and I need to, you don't need to be there yet. If you're not ready to be there yet, you won't be there. Okay. And I know sometimes we get excited and eager because we want to run with our teammates. I totally get it. I was there too. Okay. And I don't want you to learn the hard way like I learned the hard way. We're getting hurt. Okay. And that doesn't need to happen. And these are the types of things that can prevent these things from happening. So hope you found this helpful. Okay. Have a great day. Leave your comments in the comment section. Okay. And blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. That's my email. Feel free to reach out to me if you're a coach. If you have any personalized questions and so on and so forth. Or if you even have questions about how to do transitional pieces, like the 200s before workouts or the longer piece before the short and fast workouts, I can show you how to plug these types of things into the training and when to plug them in. So you know exactly what to do and you have a much better understanding of why you're doing it. I do Zoom meetings as well, and I'll be happy to do a live stream as well so we can break these things down together. So just let me know. Load up the comments or shoot me an email. Have a great day. Hope you have a great rest of the summer and an even better cross country season. Talk to you next time.